Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Vlogmas. By the time you're seeing this video, Vlogmas should be like well underway. Yeah, you should see a few of them. So hopefully this is all finding you well. Hopefully you're enjoying kind of like what we've done so far. And hopefully you've realised this is going to be my second gift guide. And it's, yeah, for him. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. It's gonna be exactly the same as how I did the one for her, for women. So we're going to do kind of the teens and then kind of like the older men and some DIY gifts, but then we're also going to go through kind of like low budget and then the medium to high budget options as well. I think a little puppy's come to join. Hi, hello. Are you coming up? Come on then, come snuggle in. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. A lot of the things that I'm going to show you guys to do with teenagers I feel like could also quite easily be applied to kind of like your 20-year-olds as well. So it's quite a broad range of stuff that I'm going to show you guys. One of the first things that I thought I'd pull out for the kind of like low budget is actually some kind of like strip lights. So literally these are like the Primark version. They literally just look like that. They come in like just a reel, literally like this. Super easy. They come, you just need to grab some batteries for them. What they'd be really good for is if your guy has, or you're a teenage boy, whatever, if he's got any kind of like display, they'd be really great if your guy's got any kind of like items that he likes to display. So I know Tom's got quite a lot of like Warhammer, Lego, that sort of thing. But it really works for anything. Some guys are really into their trainers. You literally just stick these strips kind of like on the shelf and then you can turn them on and they make it look so much fancier than it actually is. But guys, these are so cheap to get from Primark. They're literally £1.50. So they're a super easy gift, but actually they can be a cheap way to demonstrate that you've put a lot of thought into like what that person's into. So yeah, I do really recommend those. Another place that you could look for a kind of like lighting is actually a shop called Menkind. I'll link it in the description below. But yeah, their lights are actually really quite cool. They kind of do like ones for gaming, but then they also do ones, and I feel like it kind of gives that like, what's it called? Like a man cave sort of vibe. I know Tom loves that sort of stuff, and yeah, hopefully your guys do too. Other items that you can kind of think about for a low budget would be things like body sprays. Obviously Boots has so many options. So I think it's kind of a case of having to think about what sort of smell your guy would like. For teenagers, I wouldn't stray too far into kind of anything kind of like wood-like, if that makes sense. So I'd kind of drift away from anything too natural and kind of go for more kind of less of the like husky smells to try and find something that's more suitable for that kind of like young age range. Okay, so going into a medium budget, I feel like obviously we have to talk about the fact that football is going to be a massive aspect of Christmas this year. I'm going to put my hands up and say I literally do not know enough to give you guys specific advice. But what I will say is this is a great opportunity if you want to kind of get any sort of like football merch for your guy. This is a great opportunity because you can literally get it at radically different price ranges. Okay, because you can get football shirts at TKMaxx, which are kind of like the more official ones. They look really great, but also if you're kind of trying to save money this year, you can get like these very similar football shirts from Primark. So there's a great opportunity to kind of get things that are football related, but actually, unlike other years, we can really shop around for it this year. So yeah, do a bit of research, but if you're kind of going for something that isn't team specific, so literally just kind of like England, yeah, there's so many options. My Tom, he's not that bothered by football, so it's not really on my list to go shopping for. But if your guy's into football, which I know lots of them are, that's also a really easy option this year. Another option for that medium budget is actually a gaming voucher. So a lot of kind of like the different like gaming systems, so things like Xbox, they all have like their own little online shops, so you can easily get a little voucher for those shops, and then your guy can get hold of it, whichever game he might want. Another option is actually just buying a game straight from kind of like the shops, and so you can do that online via Amazon, but obviously you can go into shops like Game as well, so there's loads of options there. But also you could actually focus in on the gaming equipment, which is a little bit easier, because for me, I feel like the games can get a bit confusing with what's new, what's not, what's right and wrong. Whereas like it can be slightly easier to actually get like a gaming headset. So that would literally, you can get those online. And yeah, I think these are one of the things that you can kind of really shop around for to get a good deal. But they're also a great item that if you do want to splash out, it's very easy to do so and get like a really good quality headset, which is something that they might not buy themselves, so that's a really nice option as well. Then in terms of a high budget, things like aftershaves never really go on this. I think they're like just an absolutely great gift for guys. But also for a teenager or a guy in his 20s, one of the things that I really recommend is actually a really nice quality hoodie. So this is one that I got Tom for his birthday. You'll actually be able to see it on him in the like birthday vlog that I did, so I will link that up there for you. But yeah, so it's just like a Hoodrich hoodie. It's got the hood obviously, it's got some kind of tassels, it's got the logo there. On the back it's got the logo as well, super easy. And then we've kind of got the like what's it called, pockets and kind of logo-y bits there. It's really comfy to wear, but honestly because of the brand it's quite fashionable as well. So I feel like it's a catch-all, because if your guy's into his looks, that's an easy option. But also if he's more into just being really comfortable, again, a hoodie is just a great way to go. I think everyone's kind of happy with a hoodie. So yeah, that's a really good option if you want to splash out. The Hoodrich hoodies can get a little bit expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was a real treat for me to be able to buy that for Tom. So what I would say is to maybe, yeah, just sure to shop around. I got that one from JD, but I also made sure to get a student discount on it by shopping online, and all that different sort of stuff. So definitely make sure to kind of have a look for the best deals on that one. Obviously, alongside the hoodie, you can also go for trainers, kind of like any sort of Nikes and Jordans are great options. And then also things like gaming consoles. If you're looking to splash out, that is definitely a great way to go. So keep an eye out for that as well. Definitely try and shop around where you can. The final thing then I was going to recommend for a teenager in a high budget situation is some AirPods. I feel like you just can't go wrong with the little AirPods. That's my pair there. Literally open up, and you've got kind of like the little headphones. They're so tiny on the camera. But yeah, literally just pop in like that and you're on your way. Super easy. If they've got an iPhone, this is a great option. Apple do loads of different versions of the AirPods now, so this is a very standard version. They've got the AirPod Pros, but then they've also kind of got a full headset as well. So depending on your budget, depends on kind of where you can go with that. But I use mine literally every day. I'm obsessed with them. And I feel like, yeah, most guys would be too. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to guys kind of like 20s, 30s. To be fair, we could make this broader as well. So starting off with a low budget, I recommended this in the For Her gift guide, and I'm going to recommend it again but for guys because I absolutely swear by it, and that is a travel mug. But I do think if you've got the budget to, you should splash out on an insulated. I can see the word in my mind. Oh my god, insulated travel mug. I totally recommend those. So this one is actually a Chili's one. You can kind of see the logo there, and yeah, literally the top pops open like that. So yeah, literally easy to put on, doesn't really spill. It can spill if you kind of like obviously do anything silly with it, but yeah, it keeps your drink hot for so long. We love these for when we go out on walks, but also if you guys are working, that is just a great option. Your coffee lasts so much longer when you don't have to rush to drink it, and you can kind of just take little sips. So these are one of my absolute favourite items to gift. They're so practical. They're going to use them all year for multiple years after you've gifted it. So this is one of my definite massive recommendations. Other kind of low budget options would be a car air freshener. If you're kind of looking for stocking fillers, that's a great one. But you can kind of go with that. You can kind of splash out on one, or you can get quite a kind of cheap one. There's loads of different options there. Another thing you could get is actually like a cinema voucher. That might be quite a nice thing to do together, but also, yeah, you can do that on his own. It's just something a little bit different, probably wouldn't get for himself, so that's a great option too. One of the things I got Tom one year was a personalised bracelet. I got that off of Etsy, so I'll link it down below for you. But yeah, it was literally like a leather braided bracelet, and then the clasp kind of had an engraving on it with a little message, which was really sweet. So I totally recommend that. I think he'd say that was probably one of his favourite presents because he absolutely loved it. It had a lot of sentimental value. Okay, moving into a medium and kind of like high budget, one of the things I'm going to recommend is actually some Rituals gift sets. So this actually isn't a gift set, sorry, kind of like some Rituals stuff. The Rituals stuff is so nice. So one of my favourite items is the shower foam. So they do kind of like a broad range of shower foams, and then they do like a kind of for him collection. So that's a miniature version. This one I got for free by joining the Rituals Club. So when you go into store, make sure you do that to grab some freebies. I've got a large version, which I am planning to gift to Tom. Guys, they have gift wrapped it for me for free. Like, how nice is that? It's got its own little bit, all sealed at the back. So that's literally in there ready to go. They gave me the bag, and they've also put a little bit of tissue paper in there as well. When I say this smells incredible, I am not lying. I am not. This is the nicest thing. I've got kind of like a, I don't know what, I think it's like a blossom version, and oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, it smells incredible first of all, but also it feels insane. So you spray it and it's like a gel, and then as you kind of put it on your body, it becomes kind of like a foam. So good, so good. I feel like as well, because at least in Tom's case, showering's kind of probably like the biggest part of his routine. He's not really bothered about skincare or anything like that. So for him, he doesn't really have like loads of products to use, so I think actually splashing out on some of his everyday products is really nice. But yeah, I think the large version of the shower gel cost me about £7 or £7.50. I'll link it down below for you if you're interested. But yeah, this is one of my favourite products. I just love it. I feel like he really enjoys it, but also it smells so good. So yeah, if you're struggling and you really don't know what to get, that is my #1 recommendation. Just do it. It's so nice. Other kind of like honourable mentions for like medium budget men is kind of like gym kits, Gymshark's like an easy go-to for gym kits, but there's loads of other brands for that. Again, kind of like hoodies like I showed before in this video, but also like trackies and kind of like sets like that are really, really easy. And I think when you splash out on them, they can look quite good as well. So I definitely think that's an option. And then as well, one of the things that I got Tom when we first started kind of like going out together, that's so cringy to say, but yeah, one of the things I got Tom when we first started going out was actually a wallet. So you don't have to splash out a lot on this necessarily. I got Tom's one years ago from TKMaxx, and it's lasted him pretty well. I think he's still got it. So that's like 5 years later. So that's a great option as well, to be fair. I think, yeah, I feel like TKMaxx is kind of like quite a good shop to go to if you're shopping for a guy, especially if you're not really sure what to get, because there's so many options. Finally then, moving into kind of like the high budget for your men, is Aftershave. This would not be a true gift guide for him if we didn't mention this bad boy. Oh my goodness. Obsessed. I can literally smell this leg. Oh my god. Right. It's expensive. It is. It breaks my heart, but it is so expensive. If you can afford it and it's something you want to get, Dior Sauvage. Oh my god. So good. Absolutely recommend it. Smells so good. I got this for Tom 2 years ago, maybe? That's when I started getting it for him. Oh, I do not look back. This is one of my favourite things I got him. Like, on the one hand, it was a gift for him. On the other hand, maybe it was a bit of a gift for me. I'll be honest. I love it. I love the smell of it. Him wearing it is a real treat. I love it. I think you will too, girls. I think you will too. But yeah, it's a great gift. I'm obsessed. If in doubt, Dior Sauvage. Do it. Thank me later. Finally then, another obvious choice if we're going for higher budget is a watch. I've brought Tom 2 watches in the past. This one's my favourite. I'll hold it up to the camera. But it's just a really basic Hugo Boss watch. Really, really nice. I can't remember where I got this from now, but there's so many options of where to get your watches from nowadays. I think I went shopping in Meadowhall in Sheffield, and like there was like 5 different places to get a watch from, so I think there's a lot of options. You can kind of go right down to basics and try like your Argos, and then you can go kind of top end and try like Beaverbrooks. There's loads of options. So many options depending on what your budget is. So yeah, you can really shop around and make it suit you, but I feel like a watch is such a classic gift, and they can look so smart on. So yeah, one of the things that I would recommend though is actually having a think. One of the things Tom wasn't too keen on with this watch was the fact that a lot of the the links are quite rough on the skin on his hand, and they can kind of like shake a little bit because we couldn't quite get it fitted exactly right. So have a think about that, and whether that's going to be an issue for your guy. There's lots of different types of kind of like wrist parts for your watch, so you don't need to stress about it, but have a little bit of a think about that before you commit to buying a watch. To end this, I thought I would also just quickly go through some kind of like honourable mentions for items kind of like dads and other gifts for dad that you could include. Could be kind of like shirts, really easy to get. You can splash out on those, or you can kind of get them from like places that are a bit more budget friendly, so there's loads of options there. Also, another great idea is actually a beer hamper. So you can make this kind of like, you can really do this with any drink, to be fair, but one of the things that I'd recommend to kind of make it a bit more interesting would be to actually shop around for the drinks, the beers, whatever, yourself. So kind of like going and finding independent places, local breweries, that sort of thing is kind of like a really great way to make that gift feel a little bit more special. So that's another option. Other things you could do could be like cufflinks, really basic. If that's something that your dad uses, that's a great option. Otherwise, something that's been recommended to me is a leather belt, so like a really old school leather belt can be something that they really like too. But of course you can also kind of go for vegan leather if that's more your style, what you're interested in. In terms of DIY gifts, things you could do could be kind of like knitted gifts. A lot of the DIY gifts that I recommended in my gift guide for her video also kind of apply to guys. Any sort of food related gifts are great. Biscuits, brownies, all that sort of thing are brilliant. But also maybe like a really nice coffee set could be good, kind of like selecting a coffee, all that sort of stuff can be really nice. You could also knit gifts, sew gifts, hats, scarves, always go down a treat, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that completes this gift guide. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please comment your ideas down below of other gifts that you'd recommend to get a guy. But also, if you're struggling, comment down below as well, and we can kind of all help each other out. I really want this to kind of be like a little community that we can all engage with and get to know each other with and help each other with as well. So please do get involved. Do kind of let me know your own ideas. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, like this video, subscribe for more. There's so much more Christmassy content coming. Are you off? Oh, you're a snuggly girl. I think it's our bedtime. But yeah, there's loads more Christmassy content coming, so please do like, subscribe so that you don't miss it. And I can't wait to see you guys next time.